Welcome to this episode of the Gunman. So this video here is part 5 on my VL Turbo project. This video I'm going to be taking you guys through the conversion from a naturally aspirated engine to a turbo engine. So the engine is a 3-litre Nissan engine called a RB30. To the best of my knowledge, no one has actually done a video on this, and I can tell you now, if someone had it would have really come in handy for me. So I just thought, hey, I may as well, while not being a mechanic, I may as well make a video and outline everything that I had to do to get the turbo converted over onto the naturally aspirated engine. So we've started by pulling the exhaust off. We pulled these fuel rails out and the injectors. Injectors needed to be changed because the standard injectors will not suit. You might get it to run, but it won't run very well. And I was advised by the mechanic who did the job to get new ones. He said, look, you can try and get some old ones, but who's to know if they're going to work? You might save a bit of money, but it'll end up costing you in the long run when you find out you do need to get new ones. So for what it's worth, just get new injectors. Here's the fuel rail and the turbo intake. So I've decided to give these a bit of a nice paint job. I redid the red inside there where it says turbo and on the plenum there as well. And this is just the front cover for the timing belt. Now the standard naturally aspirated airflow meter will work just fine on the turbo, so you won't have to get a new one of them. But what we're doing here is just adjusting the fuel to air mixture ratio, and you need to get a multimeter to test that. So I had to change the extractors over, as you can see there, that are going to be able to bolt up to the turbo. I ended up getting the face of that machine down flat and putting a new gasket in there as well. So at this point here, we're doing a bit of tuning and we're trying to get it to run right. We're running through the diagnostics on the computer that it has, which gets me to another thing. You will need to change your computer over from a non-turbo to a turbo computer. It is a factory turbo that I'm putting on, so it's not aftermarket or anything. And I want to keep it all looking fairly original. I want it something that cops will pull me over and then not just going to say, bang, yellow sticker, you need to get certificates for those modifications. I also did the front main seal, also did the timing belt and water pump while it was all out. That's just those kind of things that when an engine gets old, you may as well look after it by doing stuff like that. Obviously get a new 5-litre worth of good quality oil. I got Penrite. You're going to need your radiator coolant as well. I've also been running the car with only 98 octane fuel from now on. I replaced the studs for that exhaust manifold. Now at this point we didn't quite know yet, but we had a leaking turbo. So the internals of that turbo, there's seals inside there, and they were blown out. So we started revving it up and we could end up seeing some oil spitting out of the turbo. So we had to pull the turbo back out, get it rebuilt, which luckily a guy from one of our neighbouring units rebuilds turbos. He's a mechanic. And in his spare time, he likes to do stuff like that. So I gave it to him. He only charged me about $300. He sent it away, got it balanced, put a new kit through it. But as you'll see here, as soon as it gets under load, it just dies in the arse. Like, you've got no power. So when you're revving it up in neutral, it seems to be going okay. But you put it in drive, which is what he's done here. He's in the driver's side seat there. And it just totally died. So that's the computer there, and you'll be able to turn it into diagnostics mode, and it will come up with flashing lights which you count right down. Then you'll be able to refer that to the fault codes, and then there's also ways of fixing them or resetting them, and it'll also let you know if, say, one or two of the parts are not right. As it turned out, because the turbo was leaking, I ended up fouling up a full set of plugs, so I had to pull them out and put a new set in as well because it was letting oil through the inlet. You'll also want to replace your fuel pressure regulator because the standard one will not go up with boost, so it will work. Your standard fuel pressure reg will work, but as the boost builds up, it needs more fuel pressure behind that, so that's what the fuel pressure reg will do.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty cool. So we just learnt that
airflow meters work.
Yeah, it's definitely made it worse.
Yeah.
So back out with the turbo, and here it is in at that guy's workshop. The guy that rebuilds the turbos, he's just pulled two apart. So I did have two turbos from the black one. Those who have been following me from the very start of this VL Turbo project will know that I started off with a black one that had a turbo conversion on it. I then decided to scrap that one, take all the good parts off it, and I was left with quite a few parts I was able to use on the red one that you've seen me got now. So yeah, there it's all pulled apart. He's ended up finding that one of them had some old system in it, so he's taken all the good parts out of two and made one for me, and he's had that shaft there sent away and got balanced. So they shim off a little bit here and there to make sure it's balanced correctly when it's spinning at probably around 8,000 RPM. I also gave it a bit of a clean up with some deoxidine while it was out, and here it is once it's been back and all put back together, and it's feeling nice and tight in there. There's not much movement, there's a little bit, but they tell me that you want a little bit of movement in there. So yeah, it's all nice and tight. Looking good, ready to go back in. I didn't get overly involved in this video with actually doing the mechanical work because I'm not a mechanic, and I did get my mate to do a lot of it for me. He's just in the neighbouring unit for us. He's pretty much the same as what we are, just a young guy getting into a workshop for himself and starting his own business. So, you know, I wasn't lowballing him with the cost, but I still got looked after. He got looked after and I did as well. I just said, mate, it's going to cost what it's going to cost. I think it cost me for the labour, it was around $800, which I'm quite happy with. And parts all up probably cost me, over $1,000 easily. By the time those injectors were about $400. And here's a look at it prior to putting the conversion, and here it is after. You can hear it does sound a lot nicer with that exhaust as well. Put that chrome rocket cover on, the painted intakes, got all that nice blue silicone hosing there. I've also got the brand new air filter and airflow meter. Got a bracket made up down there. My mate did that for me too. Yeah, it looks the part now. We actually had those extractors glowing red hot there at one point. I didn't want to go and do it again just for the sake of not wanting to burn this engine out. Yesterday morning when I got to work, I couldn't help myself but to do a little skid. So there you go, there's a perfect circle donut. I got told off for doing that from the owner of the complex, and he threatened to kick me out of the units, and basically I just laughed at him and said, sorry mate, I won't do it again. No sense spending all that time and effort on making a car go fast if you're not allowed to do a skid. That's the way I see it anyway. There you go, it sounds the part, it sounds real nice. I love driving this thing to work every day. Yeah, I'm just careful when it's cold. I don't like over revving it when it's cold, so I did let this warm up before I went and revved it up like that. Yeah, you will go through a little bit more fuel than you used to, but you know what, I don't really care. It's going to cost me a little bit more in petrol. There you go, I've decided I'm going to make a list of everything that I had to change to do this, and I'll be putting that in the description of this video. To finish the video off, I've decided I'll take you guys for a little bit of a drive. Yeah, look, in the future I'll have to set the camera up and we'll take it out and do some skids somewhere. Hopefully somewhere that it's legal to do, so the cops aren't going to come after me with this very incriminating evidence on video. So there's that fuel pressure regulator. I just ended up getting a cheap Chinese one off eBay. It cost me about $70. It ended up leaking straight away, so we had to put some Loctite on there to seal it up, and it sealed those threads up. But here we are going for a bit of a spin down the street. And a VL turbo conversion isn't complete without your doof doof. So there you go, I put the pod speakers in there, got some mad kicker 6x9s, pretty nice parcel shelf made up there, and I got myself a nice JVC head unit. That thing goes quite well. It hooks straight up to the phone with the Bluetooth. So there you go. That just about finishes this video off. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you liked watching it. Be sure to ask questions. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can if possible. Check out these vids at the end. Thanks for watching, and this has been another Gunman production. Goodbye.